Good afternoon, Cavaliers. Today we find ourselves at the front of Jefferson High School. Our goal today is to give you a look on this bright, warm, sunny day, a sneak peek as to what Jefferson High School looks like. There's been a lot of questions out there, a lot of curiosity, and I know one of the goals when we started this journey was to ease anxiety, generate excitement, and dispel myths and rumors. So as we take a journey through Jefferson today, we hope to accomplish those three things. So please join us for a walk through Jefferson High School. Right now we stand inside the main entrance of our commons. This is going to be our hub of activity. The nice thing when you see Jefferson, if you look to the right where you see the green tile, you'll see our school store on the corner, you'll see our concession stands, but we have our auditorium to the right and our main gym to the left. And so when we host activities, this becomes the hub for gatherings, after games, after events. It'll be the place we host our dances. Down the left-hand side, you have administration wing, you have student services, and you have counseling. So very similar setup to what you're familiar with in your current school. These are our administrative offices. So this is where you would come into the school through the welcome window, be greeted, and then launch from here to wherever you need to go if you're visiting Jefferson. We're currently standing inside Student Services, so this is where all the day-to-day student announcements, information. This is going to be the center for students who check in from appointments, maybe need to leave for an appointment, get information about school-related events and activities. This is going to be Student Services, and then right behind us, if you look at the doorway over here to the left, that's our nurse's office. So that's where our school nurse will be located. There will be 3 cots in there along with her office. So for students who need to use our nursing facilities, it would be located right here in Student Services as well. Right now, we're peeking into the conference room, counseling conference area. And inside counseling, you saw the look from the main commons into the counseling area. And so this is our counseling suite. So our counselors will be housed here, our social worker, our student success coordinator, our registrar will all be housed out of this area. And if you look towards the back, we have a conference room similar to what your counseling conference room might be at Washington, Roosevelt, or Lincoln. But you also see that inside the conference room, daylight. So a big piece of Jefferson is that natural light that you see in every room you go. All right, we've just entered in our main gymnasium, which is right off of the student commons area. And as you walk in, one of the first things you notice is that we're an elevated field. So we do have a 2-lane track that circles around our main gym. And if you scan the floor right now, you'll see that they're putting in the bleacher system. Something that's unique to Jefferson is there will be bleachers that surround the entire court. So it'll give that bowl fill where whether you're in here for our athletic competitions or our activities, whether it's a show choir event or any other event we would host, it just gives it a real nice feeling being inside this. You'll also notice on the north side we have windows. So again, our gym has a lot of natural light coming into it to highlight the performance of our kids that'll be calling this home, Jefferson High School, for years to come. Now we find ourselves standing in the Jefferson High School weight room. A couple features about this weight room that you notice right away is just its size, but you'll also notice that we have some field turf here up against the windows for our student athletes, students in general, to do in-motion activity, in-motion workouts with a safe surface underneath them. It too also has windows, and the amount of light that's let into this. If you're a student at Jefferson High School, you'll have access to this weight room, and it's going to be open before school, after school, and it's open to those students who are in activities as well as those students who are not in activities. So it's going to be a facility of use. We've said that often, and that's the one thing we want to emphasize. So right now we're standing at the west end of the basketball court. So students, if you're here for an event cheering on the Cavaliers in volleyball, in basketball, or whatever event it is, you'll be sitting in these end zone seats looking on the court, having that unobstructed view. If you're a performer in show choir or other events where we use our gym as a performance area, we would be standing where the stage would be located. And if I'm performing out here, I see 3 sides of bleachers in front of me, and I see a field, a basketball court that could be filled with chairs. And then as it gets bigger and filled up, you could probably imagine people looking over the track at the railing and watching the performance of young Cavaliers. So now we're taking a peek into our mini gym, our auxiliary gym. As you look at it, it has the same hardwood surfaces that you'll find in the other facilities. Right now you're looking at the wall where the bleachers would be located, and these bleachers will be similar to what you would see at a Washington or a Roosevelt. But this is going to be our auxiliary gym, our mini gym. So right now we're looking out the north windows of the main gym, and what you see is our tennis courts. So there are 8 tennis courts that you're looking at, and if you pan a little bit to the east, you'll see our 3 full-size practice facility fields. They've already been seeded, and they've got a fall's worth of growth on them, and they should be ready to go June 1st when we start having open fields and other things at Jefferson High School. So this is where band will practice, where our soccer teams, where our football, anything that's Jefferson related, we hope to have on campus practicing. And as you look to the west, you'll see our main stadium, which will be our track, our turfed field, and looking out over that campus. Right now, Cavaliers, we are standing on the stage of the Auditorium. So the auditorium size is going to be very comparable to Washington, Lincoln, and Roosevelt. We'll have a capacity around 930 students and members that can be here. So as you get the panoramic view and looking out into the audience, a couple things that you'll notice is the center control station. That's where our lights, audio will all be controlled from. And then as you look up to your left, stage left and stage right, you will see 2 balconies. And so that is another feature that will be unique to the Jefferson Auditorium. But we look for the many great celebrations we will have in here through theater, performances, celebrations for student success. All those things will happen here in the auditorium. So right now we're looking inside the dressing room for the theater and the black box theater. So this will support both our auditorium performances and our black box theater performances. That is just down the hall from both of those. So it comes with 2 dressing rooms, and then you have a full wall of mirrors and anything our performers would need to get ready for their performance. All right, I am now standing in our fine arts area. So this is where our band, choir, orchestra, and theater will call home. So down this corridor, the first room on your right will be orchestra, then we'll go choir, and then we'll go band at the end of the hallway behind me. Also, students, this is where your central practice instrument storage will be. So behind me off my right will be the instrument storage area. That'll be full of cabinets to put your instruments as you get ready to perform and play. And then as you scan around the room, what's around me as I'm just off the commons, if you look over in this direction, you will see our black box theater. So our black box theater is a flat floor space that can accommodate many performance styles and performance pieces. We'll have the opportunity to bring in some seating that can have many different configurations to support the performance you are trying to put on. So you're looking at our black box theater, and then as you kind of continue to swing around and you look on the other side of the wall, we have our classrooms. So the first one you're going to look at, this would be our orchestra classroom. You'll notice that our orchestra, band, choir, they all have windows, that natural light, the tall ceilings. Probably the big difference that you're going to see with the band and choir is its flat floor space. So that'll accommodate our performance groups and allow a variety of settings inside the main band, choir, orchestra rooms. All right, we have just exited the fine arts entrance that we came from band, choir, orchestra. You're looking out across the main commons of Jefferson, and now we're looking up the stairs. This will be one of our stairways up to second floor. Each of our learning suites will have a set of stairs to get to second floor, but this would be what you guys would know as the grand staircase. This is the main access point. As we continue to pan around to these windows off of the commons area, you're now looking out into the Cavalier courtyard. So this will be a courtyard space directly across those other set of windows. They frame in our learning stairs. So this can be another place where students can call home, find a place to sit with their friend or their group of friends and just have conversation and work on some of their academics in these settings. We do want to find a way to make those available to kids. We find ourselves in one of our 5 learning wings. A staple of the learning wings that you'll see, as all 5 of these are very similar, you'll see the outside view that looks out, full glass windows. We'll have some table setting area here for kids to work in small groups during the school day. We are on the first floor of the learning suite, and you will see we have a row of classrooms that could be math, science, English, social studies, world language. You'll see a center collaboration room that is 2 stories. It goes up between first and second deck. If you look closely, you'll see that there is an overlook on second floor so that you can look down onto first floor and see what's going on. Right now we have the lights turned off, but you can just see how much natural light finds its way into this facility at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. So we talked earlier about how each learning suite has its set of stairways up to second floor, and we'll be navigating those. But this is where the learning throughout the school will take place, and you can see this same setup in all of our learning wings. So with Jefferson, the design setup, it has a center spline that runs north to south, and you will see 3 of these wings to the west and 2 of the wings to the east. And our future project-based learning program, formerly known as New Tech, will occupy our southeast wing, and it's just a little bit longer to accommodate the double room setup that they have for project-based learning. So as you look through, we're going to head upstairs here shortly, but you just see this vast commons space, and I think that's what you'll see in Jefferson. It's got a lot of natural light, and then it's got a lot of communal learning spaces where you can gather in small groups and extend that learning opportunity that starts in the classroom. Right now we find ourselves in a standard classroom at Jefferson. You'll notice the cabinetry, you'll notice the whiteboards, the amount of whiteboard space on the walls, and you'll notice the natural light with the windows. Each of the classrooms will have a smart touch display system, so it'll be similar to a touchscreen TV device that we'll have in each of the classrooms. All right, we have now made our way up to second floor. You'll see again the transom lighting up at the top. You'll see the full view windows as we look out to the east and across Sioux Falls. I envision this having tables and gathering spaces for kids to work in small groups, classrooms to work in small groups. So we have classrooms across the hall from us. That same type of picture. You can see our group collaboration room. You see the railing now because you can look down onto first floor. The one thing we do want to take a peek at is on second floor we find all of our science rooms. So let's take a look at a science room as we walk in here. So inside our science rooms, you'll see it looking very similar to what you would see at Washington, Lincoln, or Roosevelt. So you have the lab stations around the perimeter, you'll have lab tables in the center, you have a demonstration table at the front of the room, and that is one thing that's going to be unique to Jefferson is the science labs. There's 3 science rooms in each of the academic wings or learning suites. So science as a department is spread throughout the school. So we're going to look at what does that mean for math, what does that mean for English, social studies as we work to build our learning community. As we stand on second floor looking at the overlook, wanted to bring your attention to the locker arrangement that we have here. As you look at a lot of the walls and you walk through here, we don't have one-to-one lockers at Jefferson High School. We will have a locker if you want one, but right now the capacity of lockers is not intended to be one-to-one. We realize kids, you bring backpacks and other things to carry your things throughout the school day, so you'll notice that we've reallocated that space instead of putting it into locker combinations, locker spaces down the hallway. Now that is utilized as different learning spaces. But you'll notice that there's just fewer lockers out here. But if you want one, you will have one. And then the second thing to note is we're getting a little better view of what does it look like below when you're standing up at the second level, looking over the balcony. You have the full windows of this collaboration room that could be used with small group learning. And you have classrooms that are flanking it on either side. So the goal in the setup is how do we create those collaborative opportunities between staff and students so that we can deepen that learning experience interdisciplinary. So we've just exited the learning suite and we stand outside overlooking our media center, library area. So on this second floor library area, things that you'll notice right away is this open concept. It is open to the hallway on first floor, it's open to the hallway on second floor. You'll see directly across from us a collaboration room, conference room space that overlooks the library. As you look at the library floor itself, on the far end opposite us, you'll see 3 classrooms. One is a green space, small little conference rooms. So one is a green room, so we can put on our own media productions with a green wall background, and then we have 2 other smaller meeting rooms on first floor. As you can scan around the media center, it is truly the hub of Jefferson High School down these learning suites. All 5 learning suites have access to this area from various directions. And you just kind of, as you pan around and get a full perspective of it, you just kind of see how vast it is. Now we're facing 180 degrees from the media center, and you're overlooking our learning stairs. So this is a second floor view of our learning stairs. And these windows, which currently have a film over them, you'll be able to see out into the courtyard. There will also be a media screen that can come down with sound, so if students are doing presentations, or if we have presentations we want to put in front of students, we have this space to do so. This might also be a space during lunch for kids to find their friend, their groups of friends, sit down, take a little break during that time, and relax and just have conversation about life with their friends. So there's just a variety of uses that you find up here, looking down on the learning stairs and over across on the media center. We find ourselves at the top of our staircase that enters into the commons. So we're on second floor, and at the top of the staircase you can see Western Sioux Falls. And maybe it's better phrased, you can see Western Ellis, as you see the elevator, the Ellis elevator in the distance. But as you look around and we pan left to right, you see the light that comes into the commons. You're overlooking the commons now, where the dances will be, the gathering opportunities, lunch will be, and we continue to scan across our school store on the corner, and then where we would enter the auditorium, the black box theater with the green tile out in front of it. And now you see your main entrance up to second floor. And once you get to second floor, you start peeking around up here on second floor, and you look down our learning, down towards our learning suites, and you just see the length and how much space it truly has. At this access point, I can oversee the courtyard, I can see the front of the school, I can see us far to the north across the athletic fields. It's just a great line of sight up here. So we're in the middle of our G wing, which is just behind us, and we're overlooking the library, kind of in the center of the library on second floor. As we look around the library, you notice to our left, you'll see kind of a 2 set of another smaller learning space or learning stairs, where students could sit there with a friend, they could sit there by themselves, they could sit there and just get immersed in a book or they're learning. We'll have tables in the field of the library to the left here. As you pan around to the right, you'll see the access point to an innovation, imagination lab, where that'll have glass doors that slide open, so it could be open and be part of the media center, or it could be closed and be another classroom or a learning experience. And as you continue to pan to the right, we'll have our book storage down here with aisles of books for kids to select for materials to read, and you go through. So it's just another perspective when you look on second floor down upon our library. All right, we find ourselves inside one of our art classrooms. So we do have 4 art classrooms between 3D design, drawing, painting, EVA, photo. This would be one of our art classrooms that would look very similar. So as you look at it, you'll see on the sheetrock wall to your left here where the touchscreen display presentation board would be. As you scan around, you see what that look across the city is with the full windows inside the art room. That this will be the place for the visual arts that you will start. And like I said, we have 4 rooms that are very similar to this that will be dedicated to the visual arts. The next room we wanted to show you a little bit of, just as you're inside the classroom here, we're inside of an interior design, fashion design, single survival. It's our applied arts area, so we're on second floor in an applied arts classroom, which again gives you a full vantage of the city. As you're thinking about what you want to create, what you want to develop, what you want to be when you graduate from Jefferson High School. And as we close out the view of Sioux Falls here at the south end of Jefferson, and we're completing our tour today, while we're still developing what is that Jefferson culture going to look like, what does it mean to be a Cavalier, we continue to center on 3 main concepts. All means all. From those of you who have the most to those who have the least, Jefferson's a place for you. We're going to take care of everybody. The next element we have is people matter most. So when you come to Jefferson, we have this beautiful facility we get to be a part of and be inside and learn. That's close to $85–90 million worth of investment that the community of Sioux Falls says education's important. But you know what? It isn't worth that if we don't have the people and the students and the community members inside to support it. And lastly, the last element that Jefferson will be known for is we're always going to compete. We're going to compete for excellence. When you compete, you always look internally first to say, what can I do better? Then you have the work ethic and initiative to go act on it. As a competitor, you always take care of those around you because it's a team success. And the last thing is you always have that eternal optimism that the work you do is going to make a difference. That's the win. That eternal optimism, the work I do will make a difference. So we look forward to seeing these halls filled with kids and students in the very near future. But for now, this is your quick glimpse of what Jefferson High School looks like.